We got a lot to talk about in today's edition of the Red Sox Rundown. The magic number, as it stands, is currently down to 2. Could be down to 1 by the time the Astros game ends later tonight at the time of recording this. But we wouldn't be where we were if it wasn't for one Garrett Crochet. And last night, Crochet hit a huge milestone, 250 strikeouts. The only person in the majors to hit 250 strikeouts this year. I think he has a case for American League Cy Young. We'll talk about that at the end of the video, but just show Crochet some love. Spam your 250s in the comments down below. We should get 250 comments on today's video. Show him some love, 250 strikeouts. It's not a feat that's hit that often, so for him to hit it is really, really awesome. Welcome back into another edition of the Red Sox Rundown. I'm your host, Jack. Thank you so much for watching. We've got a lot to talk about today, actually. Paul Toboni is leaving the Red Sox front office, according to Jeff Passan, and he is headed to the Nationals. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you everything you need to know around that. And then the Red Sox, they beat the Blue Jays again. The magic number, like I said, at the time of recording this at 10:27 p.m. Central Time on the 24th of September, is down to 2. But with the way the game is going in Sacramento, it looks like it might be down to 1. The Red Sox are knocking on the door of clinching a playoff berth. We're going to talk about all of that in today's video, but let's start with Paul Toboni. Jeff Passan broke the news of ESPN earlier yesterday. Here's what he had to say. He said, breaking, the Washington Nationals are finalizing a deal to name Paul Toboni their new head of baseball operations, sources tell ESPN. Tabone, 35, rose rapidly to become assistant GM for the Boston Red Sox and is widely regarded as one of the best young executives in Major League Baseball. For a Nationals team in need of a serious infusion of talent, it's worth noting that Paul Toboni ran the draft for Boston when it chose Roman Anthony, Marcelo Mayer, Kristian Campbell, Peyton Tolley, Connelly Early, and the prospects who went to Chicago in the Garrett Crochet deal. Yes, Paul Toboni is, for a 35-year-old, got a huge resume, which we'll go over in a second, and he's responsible for basically all of the young core that the Red Sox now have, that the young core that's going to lead the Red Sox for the next decade. Just some names that were drafted under Paul Toboni's eye: Roman Anthony, Marcelo Mayer, Kristian Campbell, Peyton Tolley, Connelly Early, Hunter Dobbins, Nick York, who's no longer with the team, but he was a part of a trade, Luis Guerrero, and many, many more, Kyle Teal and others. He's got an eye, obviously. Now, he's not the only one making the decisions, but from 2016 to present day, he was either the assistant director of amateur scouting, he was then promoted to director, then he was vice president of amateur scouting. Like, he's had his hands on all of this from 2016 up to present day. So all those drafts he was a part of, and bringing in all of this incredible talent, while not fully because of him, he had a lot to do with it. And according to Chris Cotillo, Tabone was being considered for a larger role in the Red Sox. Here's what Cotillo had to say. He said, Tabone, 35, was a fast riser through Boston's front office, who was elevated to senior vice president and assistant general manager role under Chief Baseball Officer Craig Breslow. Last winter, Breslow intends to hire a general manager as his number 2 executive this offseason. Something we haven't discussed, but is something that's going to be talked about this offseason, is that they are going to hire a general manager. And Tabone was considered a clear favorite to assume that title. So not only has he been a young, fast riser in the front office, not only has he been responsible for some of the greatest hits in terms of Red Sox drafting ever, he was the clear favorite to be the number 2 in the organization, and someone that Craig Breslow valued heavily. So not only are you losing him, but you're losing who everyone thought would be the number 2, would be the GM. Now, that GM search is going to have to go on a little longer. It's going to be a little more difficult. Do they hire internally? I think they probably do, but you're losing what Passan and what Cotillo had both called one of the most rapidly rising front office executives in all of baseball. And he's going over to the Nationals to take over head of baseball operations. And look, that's the job everyone wants. Whether it be GM or chief baseball officer or head of baseball operations, they're all the same. They just have different titles. But, that's the ultimate. At 35 years old, he's going to be running the front office for the Nationals. I get it. He deserves it. It's great. But it does suck for the Red Sox. You're losing one of the biggest risers, biggest young stars in all of baseball executives. And I'm not saying that's like huge bad news for the Red Sox, but it's not good news. You're losing someone who obviously had a keen eye in the draft. Like that'll hurt. That will hurt. So hopefully the infrastructure is in place with scouting and player development and other things like that, where it won't be as big of a loss. But we're not going to know until the next few years go by. I'll run through his resume real quick just so that you guys know where he's come from. In 2013, he was a baseball operations intern for the A's. Then in 2015, he became a baseball operations intern for the Red Sox, and then from there, he just quickly rose. 2015 to 16, he was an area scout. 2016 to 2019, he was the assistant director of amateur scouting. 2019 to 2022, he was the director of amateur scouting. 2022 to 2023, vice president of amateur scouting and player development. And then as they noted in their reports, in 2023 to present day, Craig Breslow had promoted him to senior vice president and assistant general manager. You let me know in the comments, are you worried about losing Paul Toboni? Type Y for yes, type N for no down below. Not someone that we've ever talked about, because a lot of these, non-head honchos, like their jobs go under the radar. You don't really know them until they're, taking over the operations for another team. But when you look into Toboni's resume, we're losing kind of a pretty big asset to the front office. So big of an asset that, again, according to Chris Cotillo's report, he was the front runner to take over as GM, the number 2 in the front office. So that's a loss. I'm not going to lie. It's a loss. We'll see how big of a loss, again, over the next few years. But that does make the front office, it makes that conversation a little bit interesting. I trust Craig Breslow. I've said I'm a Craig Breslow defender. I trust him in what he's building and what he's doing, but he can't do it on his own, as we've seen. He needs other people around him to kind of help him lead this franchise to success. And losing Paul Toboni to the Washington Nationals definitely hurts. All right, we're going to talk about the game here in 1 second, but first, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It seems as if the Red Sox are about to clinch a playoff berth. It would have to be a catastrophic, biblical level collapse and type of surge for the Astros, for the Red Sox to not make the playoffs. And when that happens, we will be live for every single playoff game. You're not going to want to miss that. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join the channel today. Help us get to 6,000 subscribers. By the beginning of October, we're like a week away. There's not a lot of time left. So if you've not already hit that subscribe button, do it right now and join the family today. All right, the Red Sox win emphatically, 7-1. Not only is their magic number down to 2, but you also bumped the Blue Jays out of first place in the AL East. Yankee fans are thanking Red Sox fans right now. They are kissing the ground that Red Sox fans walk on, because the Red Sox single-handedly gave the Yankees the division. I hope it doesn't end that way. Actually, honestly, I think a lot of us hope it does, because I think we'd rather play Toronto than New York. That's just my thoughts. But it's the Garrett Crochet show. I mean, that is what it is. He ends his regular season with an exclamation point. 8 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 6 Ks. He finishes the season with a 2.59 ERA. I think there is a legitimate argument to be made that Garrett Crochet should be the American League Cy Young. I do want to just look real quick. I should have had this ready. I didn't, but we're doing this unedited because it's late at night. If you were to compare if you were to compare Crochet and Tarek Skubal, I think the last few months, not the last 2 months, the last few, days, I think Crochet's got it. And I'm not going to look it up right now, but he's had the type of season you would expect an ace to have. Like I said, 2.59 ERA. How many wins? I've got the wins here. 18 wins. He went 18-5. If the voters care about wins and losses, 18-5 is an absurd win-loss record in a modern-day Major League Baseball. So I think there is a legitimate argument that Garrett Crochet should be the Cy Young. Not only that, he has carried the Red Sox, and that does mean something when you're considering these type of awards. How much of an impact did he have on his team? Without Garrett Crochet, this is not a playoff team. Not even close. And him coming out every fifth day and it being basically, not always, but basically an automatic dub is very, very important. Peyton Tolley finishes out the ninth. He does break up the shutout, gives up a solo shot to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. He's still a kid. Got to work on the secondaries. It is what it is. He's very raw. Lot to learn. A lot of refinement that's needed. But I still think the future's bright for him. I think if he can get his secondaries down, he's going to be one of the most deadly pitchers in all of baseball, whether that be out of the bullpen or in the rotation. So I still love what I see from Tolley. He's just really got to refine those secondaries and continue to work on them. But if he can, like I said, and he can really master them, oh boy, Major League Baseball is going to fall to their knees because you've got another Mason Miller-esque type player. Offensively, great night. 12 hits, 8 Ks, 3 walks. It really was 4 players that had all the hits. Trevor Story goes 3 for 5. He scores a run, does strike out twice, though. Romy Gonzalez goes 2 for 5. He has 2 of the 7 RBIs on the night, but it is 2 players in particular. Carlos Narvaez goes 1 for 4, but he has an emphatic 3-run home run to open up the game. The game at that point was over. There was no coming back for the Blue Jays. But then it's Masataka Yoshida. 2 for 5, 2 runs, 2 RBIs. He had an absolute nuke of a home run. Yoshida is getting hot at the right time, and we've been talking about how someone's got to step up. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Duran? Is it going to be Story? Is it going to be Bregman, Nathaniel Lowe, Will Uribra's back? No one, and I mean no one, was talking about Masataka Yoshida being the one to step up. But on this road trip, he has been mashing. And my goodness, he owns the Toronto Blue Jays. It's not even funny. Just look at the stats. I don't have the stats in front of me, but trust me, bro. Like, his stats against the Blue Jays are ridiculous. And so I like what I see ever since the road trip started. The Red Sox have continued to hit the ball well, move runners over. You scored 4 of your runs off of home runs, so a majority of your runs came off of home runs, but that doesn't matter at the end of the day. You were getting hits. You were doing what you needed to do. It was really great to see. And now your magic number is down to 2 at the time of recording this. Let's look at the scoreboards. So not a lot of teams matter. So there's only a few games that matter. The Yankees beat the White Sox 8-1. That should be expected. The White Sox are horrible. The Guardians beat the Tigers to officially overtake the Tigers in the Central in what is one of the most incredible collapses and incredible resurgences we've ever seen in baseball. Like I said in yesterday's video, this will be studied. The AL Central in 2025 is absolutely incredible. At the time of recording this, the Athletics lead the Astros 4-0. It's top 7. It's looking pretty good. And the Mariners are up on the Rockies 8-1. But again, I've said the Mariners have locked up the West. There's no competition anymore. if the Astros lose, and it looks like it's trending that way, a lot can happen in 3 innings. So it looks like it's trending that way. If the Astros lose, your magic number's down to 1. And today, the time that you're watching this, the Astros play in the afternoon. They play at 3:35 Eastern. If the Astros were to lose that game as well, you would clinch the playoffs before even stepping on the field again. That's a real scenario that could happen. I'm going to say it. I said it in my short. I'll say it here. I'm going to eat a lot of crow because I literally said in my video 3-4 days ago, I am not confident in the Red Sox making the playoffs. I said that before the Toronto series. Look, they hadn't done enough to convince me. They had played 2-3 weeks of really bad baseball and had not gone away from the accusations of crumbling without Roman Anthony. They hadn't. I'm very happy to be proven wrong because at the end of the day, I live and bleed Red Sox baseball. I want them in the playoffs. I don't want them to not make the playoffs to be proven right. I want them in the playoffs because they're my favorite team. So I'm very happy to be wrong. I'm very happy to say I was wrong. I'm very happy that they decided on this road trip to finally figure it out offensively. You get a few good pitching performances, and now, at the time of recording your magic numbers 2, it looks like it's going to be 1. And before they even hit the field today, you could already have a playoff spot locked up. So I know a lot of people have commented about my negativity and my pessimism. I think it was valid at the time. I don't regret it. I fully stand by it. I'm happy to be wrong, though. Looks like the Sox are about to make the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like they're about to make the playoffs. Do the Red Sox clinch the postseason today? Type C if you think they clinch. Type D if you think they don't. All they need, and again, you guys are going to know if more than I do because I don't know the final of the Astros score yet from last night. Because again, I record these the night before. So I don't know if the Astros won or lost. I'm assuming they're going to win. So your magic number's down to 1. You either need them to lose again. Sorry, I assume they're going to lose. I assume they're going to lose, so your magic number is going to be down to 1. So they either need to lose again or you need to win. One or the other. It doesn't need to be both. It just needs to be one or the other. Now, that's easier said than done. So you let me know. Do the Red Sox clinch today? Type C for clinch. Type D for don't. If they do, we're going to have a video. Don't miss it. It's so close, folks. The Red Sox first postseason berth since 2021. We have gone through 3 years of being at the bottom of the AL East, and it has been absolutely horrific. It has been the worst 3-year drought. And I get it. People went 87 years, 86 years between 1918 and 2004. I understand that people are going to say, Jack, you're a spoiled Red Sox fan. I get it. But 3 straight, in my lifetime, 3 straight years of last place baseball. You trading away Mookie Betts. You trading away Rafael Devers. You letting Xander Bogaerts walk in free agency. Like, watching your core from 18 just get completely dispersed to other teams. Like, we've been through some heartbreak. It's not the curse of the Bambino, but it's our modern day heartbreak. So to make the postseason for the first time since 2021 is very exciting. And we're almost there. Make sure you subscribe, join the family when they make the postseason. Again, magic number should be down to 1. I think it's going to be very hard for them not to make the postseason with their magic number down to 1. When they make the postseason / if they make the postseason, we will be live for every game. Whether that's 2 games, whether that's all the way to the World Series, we will be live. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, go Sox.